today. Today's going to be probably one of the best I've ever done. And you're in for a treat. So grab a notebook. You're not going to believe the things I'm going to be sharing with you today. It's going to be mind blowing. So, how many of you were following me this week? You saw some of the pictures, the videos, some of the amazing people that Dave and I had a chance to hang out with. It was unreal, just unfreaking real the week that we had. And I'll tell you guys, it's nothing like I thought it was going to be. Nothing. And so about 2 weeks ago, I got a call from one of the legends in my industry. And he was like, hey, Barb, I would love to hook you up on a Zoom. I think this would be a great guy to coach you. And, I'm always open to learn and to grow, but it wasn't the best timing. It wasn't the best timing for me. A lot going on, like a lot. And I remember I was here at the lake home and I had a calendar and I was mapping out and I was like, yeah, December 1st, I'll go to that. It's this GoPro Academy in Vegas. I told my husband, like, mark your calendar. We're going to go December 1st, 2nd, 3rd. We're going to go to this GoPro Academy. There's usually like Tony Robbins or sometimes it's Joe Rogan or, the guy that puts this on, his name's Eric Worre. It's incredible. He always brings in these big names. So, I'm from Kansas, right? The new Kansas, the new queen is Taylor Swift. Like, there's all kinds of stuff happening. And I'm from the middle of Kansas, and Las Vegas is a long ways, right? So in the midst of all this, I got huge projects going on, bigger projects than I've done in 20 years, lots of them. And I've been liquidating all of my 8 octopus legs, right? So I got the med spa, I got the rental properties, I got the stores, I got the wholesale business, I got my podcast, we're publishing a new book, I got my coaching page, like I got all kinds of things just constantly pulling me. Can you guys imagine you got like 8 businesses with all employees, everything going crazy, and imagine that you have no system. Imagine you have no system. And you have no idea what's going on anywhere, but your phone never stops ringing. People never stop needing you. There's always more money that needs to be invested. Like, imagine the chaos in your life with no system. Now, I have systems. My husband is the system guy. I do time management, right? I think I'm pretty much crazy about my time. I always have to have a plan. Me and Callie, the 2 people in our family who are like, why can't anyone just get a plan? We're always trying to control the time. Other people always just kind of going with the flow, right? Well, what happened was I get on this Zoom call and literally within, 15, 20 minutes of coaching, I'm like, I'm going to hire this coach. And I'm looking at my current income. I'm looking at my current outgo. I'm looking at everything I'm invested in. And I'm like, that is not a good idea to hire that coach, right? And then in my brain, everything I've always been taught, invest 50% of everything you make back into your business. If you're making $1 million a year, you should live on 150, 200,000. You should invest the other. Like this is what you're always taught. But listen, guys, to know and not to do is not to know, right? So one side of my brain's like, that would be the craziest thing you ever did. And the other side of my brain is like, you should do it. And so on a whim, I told the girl on the phone, I said, I think I'm going to put a down payment. I think I'm going to do this mastermind. I didn't look at the calendar and say, oh, it's in 2 weeks. I just said, I think I'm going to do this mastermind. And it was kind of out of sight, out of mind, right? And then my friend Shiloh sent me a message and said, hey, you want to go together? And I said, well, Dave's coming with me, but yeah, I'm going. And then she's like, okay. I go, it's in December, right? She goes, no, it's next weekend. Now you guys have to understand, I was in this house on my way to Arizona for a week, gonna spend some time with my grandbaby. Daisy celebrated her birthday, and I feel like it's really important that couples have one night a week they date. And if you have kids, you got to have one weekend that you go somewhere and sleep somewhere else without them, at least once a month, right? Like it's necessary because you're going to have all these kids in your bed every night. Sometimes you get so busy making a living, you forget to make a life. So Dave and I always were like, it's going to be God, then our business is going to be after our family. So like God, then our family, then our business. But most of you have business, then a little bit of family. And sometimes maybe on church, Easter morning, or maybe on Christmas, New Year's Eve midnight mass you go, but like you forget that there's one controller of the whole universe, right? Like you got to get in this abundance vortex where you're like, okay, God, you be my CEO. You lead me. You tell me where, the treasure is, because he's the only one that knows. Sometimes we put all these people up on a pedestal. We think, oh, there's all the Swifties, right? There's all the Swifties who are like, anything for Taylor Swift. Then you're over here. There's all the LeBron James. Oh my gosh, LeBron James. A lot of people follow the Jenners. Oh, the Jenners. I got to have the Jenners. How about you? How about you being the next big freaking deal? How about God just takes you and just thrusts you into abundance and blessings and all the stuff? You want to know the difference in how Taylor Swift or Kylie Jenner or Joe Rogan or LeBron James, you want to know the difference in how they put their pants on and you put your pants on? Really, it's no different. Do you know how they became successful, abundant, wealthy beyond their wildest dreams, famous, tons of followers, whatever it is that everyone's after? Do you want to know what it was? I will tell you the secret. I have cracked the code on this week. Here is the secret. It was their daily habits, who they knew, what room they were in, and their ability to get out of their own way and go do something audaciously crazy that nobody else would do. You think of those 4 or 5 people that I just named. Do you think they've had some days where they were like, I want to give up on every good thing that's ever happened to me? Probably every day. Do you think they ever had times where they had haters? I will tell you, one of the best quotes I wrote down all week with these celebrities was, Drake, if you don't have haters, you're not doing shit. I was like, wow, I must be killing it, right? I have so many notes, you guys. In 4 days, I filled this entire notebook. I cannot wait to meet with my media guy, Darian Jackson. I see him on here. My husband, Dave, and I we drove last night after we landed for 5 hours. We're like, oh my gosh, like, where do we even start? So much. Like, take a fire hose, put it in my mouth, and like hold me down with it. That's how my brain feels right now. But I'm going to summarize all this, and I'm going to give you guys 6 takeaways that I got from some of the wealthiest people in the world. Jack Canfield, sitting from me to you, sitting there, him, and not just him. There was a bunch. So I'm going to tell you the 6 that I'm going to share. You're going to want to stay until the end. And right here, I want you guys to all take a minute, go up in the top right-hand corner. There's 3 little dots. I need you to hit the follow button. I never do this. I don't ever try to get followers. I don't ever worry about it. I just bring value every Saturday morning, whether I'm tired or dead or sad or mad or happy or excited or whatever. I'm just showing up for you all. I never say follow me. I never say share. I was sitting next to, hello, Lisa Grossman. I was sitting next to this girl. I kept calling her Terry, but her name was Renee Terry. And she's a keto girl. And many of you guys know 5 or 6 years ago, I was keto crazy, right? But I mentor with Lisa Grossman, who is her upline. And I told her, like, we're here at the lake and Lisa doesn't live very far. And, we just were sharing that we had a mutual friend, right? She's $1 million earner. I'm $1 million earner. We're in 2 completely different companies, but I'm like, I use your product. Like, I love it. Lisa puts me on auto ship. It doesn't mean that I have to be like, I'm not talking to her. She's in this company over here. Like, I support all my amazing friends that have small businesses, because at the end of the day, they wouldn't be successful if they didn't have a great product, right? And Dave's telling her, like, oh, I like the root beer cream soda. And we're just talking. And I get talking to her and she goes, so what do you do? And I said, well, I haven't been doing anything lately. You want to know the truth? Not doing nothing. I have been healing. I have been mourning. I have been growing. I have been learning. Like, my heart has been so broken. I lost somebody that I love. I really didn't even know how to do life without this woman, because she was always like, she answered our phones. She wrote our paychecks. She hired our people. She fired our people. She cooked every day and brought fun stuff to the office. And it was just crazy. And then to be her caregiver and then to see my husband try to move forward without Like, how do you live without your mom? One is like you miss your mom, but secondly, you guys, like, she wasn't just a mom. She was the CEO of VEO. Like, she was the CEO of Lavinity. Like, we didn't have to have all of these titles. We were just a team. Like, nobody was entitled. Nobody said, I'm the boss. Are you doing this, that? Well, sometimes she did, but she was the red pin lady, right? I could make a mess. She would edit it. I could get a big idea and she'd be like, whoa, calm down a minute. Now, don't you have that already booked on that day? And to be honest with you guys, I was like a ship without a rudder. I was sick and tired. I was empty. I never wanted to do what I was doing again. I almost hated people. I was like, people are mean and they're assholes. And I'm just going to go move to the lake. I'm going to go buy a bunch of houses. I'm going to flip a bunch of houses. I'm going to do Airbnb. I'm going to go to Grant Cardone. And I did. I went to 10X Ladies. I'm like, I'm doing this. I'm going to make $1 million doing something different. I'm never going to have to put up with people. True story. I was sick of jerks. And I want to tell you guys something. In our industry, it's like a small town. And if I went to Lisa Grossman right now, who is literally the godmother of direct sales, my friend I met this weekend, Renee, I said, we need to have a women's event at the lake. Me and Lisa talk about this all the time. I talk about it with my coaching group. I said, we need to bring in the top women and we need to the conversations are different at the top. You guys, we don't talk about people. We talk about opportunity. We don't talk about the obstacle, the challenge. We talk about solutions. We don't talk about the economy. We say, how can we come up during this down economy? Like, it's just different. And I needed this weekend so bad. I didn't need to invest that much money. I didn't need to take a week out of my life. That was not a logical decision at all. I'm babysitting in Arizona. My little granddaughter gets pneumonia. Dave and I are babysitting. It's Daisy's birthday. They're gone. And literally we're like grabbing her because she would choke and stop breathing. And it was terrifying. I don't think I slept at all. The night that I had her on my chest, barely even closed my eyes. Dave would come and check on me and her in case I fell asleep. And then I kept my commitment to go to Las Vegas for 4 days to see all the friends that always invited me to come to this mastermind. I couldn't wait to get there. Shiloh was going to meet me. I thought maybe Lisa would be there. I've always seen Lisa be in this beautiful home with these beautiful people. I had just started paying Jessie Lee Ward as a coach. Lisa helped me get into that, high up platinum executive VIP group. And I was paying for that coaching. And I get to the room, you guys. And it's just such a weird feeling because I get there and I'm like, my friends that I always wanted to be around are not here for, whatever, Lisa mourning the loss of her her daughter with Jessie Lee Ward. And there's just this weird feeling. I lost one of my best friends and business partner, Blake Graham, within 12 hours of Jessie Lee's passing. And I remember looking at Dave like, is this a sign? Like, should we not follow through on the dreams and ideas? Like, you just feel like, what are you supposed to do? And then you remember, what is your purpose? What is your passion? And in this conversation with a total stranger, my new friend, Renee, sitting next to me, her husband's kind of quiet like Dave, both of them in jeans. We're just being real, sitting in this, I don't know how many $1 million home. It's like hog nasty rich in Kansas is what you would call it. Like insanity. I mean, you would literally, it would never happen in my little area. And we're sitting there and we're having this conversation. And when she said, what do you do? I looked at her and I said, I don't know, but I will tell you this. I am working on something and I am going to change the world. And she goes, really? She goes, what is it that you do? I said, what really comes to mind for me is mental health. Mental health. Predicting this evil freaking disease that took people that I love more than anyone in my life. Like, I want you to know that I'm going to change the freaking world. And I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. And she's like, I love that. And she goes, why is that? And I said, well, it's just been a rough 9 months. And I told her my true story. I told her my daughter overdosed in February, not once, but twice, and lived. accidentally got fentanyl, right? You go to get a Xanax, you think that, it's just okay. And you have depression and you have anxiety and you have struggles and you don't know how to feel good without it. And you shouldn't, but you need it just to wake up and feel good. And your parents, imagine Dave and I are in Mexico. I just got my license to do weddings. I'm doing this, study because Callie's best friend is getting married. We're all there as friends. And I'm like, I'm going to learn how to do this because her other friend Reagan's getting married. Then Kristen's getting married. Like, I am like trying to set goals in the fog. Like, maybe I'll be a preacher, right? Maybe I'll be a preacher. So I'm there. Dave and I are together. We're fatter than we've ever been. We're unhealthier than we've ever been. It's February 22nd. We both had 40 extra pounds on us at that time. And you guys, there's just this wake up call. Like, you just get this message that your daughter's in an ambulance and she's blue and they're trying to bring her back. I've never told this story, but I told it to Renee. Because Renee and I were in a safe spot with $1 million earners where you could truly be yourself, talk about your passion, talk about your purpose, talk about your reasons, no judgment zone. Let me tell you something. There ain't no gossip happening in that room. The conversations are different. They're different. I looked at her. I looked at Renee, tears streaming down her face. She said, "You have to be kidding me." I said, "No." I said, I'm not ashamed to say it. It's 1 in 4 right now struggling with addiction. It's 1 in 3 right now struggling with depression. Like, the world needs me to get off my ass and do something about it. And I don't know what to do. And with tears in her eyes, she said, "I'll never forget the day I got arrested. I'll never forget the day I went to treatment." She said, "Could I talk to her?" And we became best friends. Did she get to talk to her? No, not yet. But I'm telling you, yeah, Dave says, "I'm so glad you dragged me along." I always go to all these networking events and it's like, "Dave, I met Lisa at the Most Powerful Women." And then I go to the A&MP. "Hey, I sat with Christopher Hussey," who's a boss, by the way, building big shit for us right now. And like, I always go to these things, but Dave's always the system guy. He's always grinding and working and flipping the houses and doing all the things and running the factory and taking care of the properties. And I'm always having fun with all my friends, right? This weekend was different, you guys. Dave and I turned off our phones. I was missing birthdays and anniversaries and important messages and employees calling and everything. And we got so dialed in for 4 days to our future, our passion, our purpose. And if you want to know something amazing, I'm going to be interviewing this $1 million earner. She does a keto kitchen. She's got 500,000 followers. She literally watched one of my lives and said, "Barb, you just give all this value for free. You're not even getting their email. You're not even capturing the follow." And I'll tell you guys, I never thought about how many people followed me. I never really thought about getting your email so we could stay in contact. Never even crossed my mind. I just wanted to bring great value because I love what I do. I never thought about monetizing it. I never thought about what I could send you. I never thought about, I need you to follow me in order for me to get on the big podcast. Never even thought about it. So please hit follow and please hit the little arrow that says share and say, "Follow my friend Barb. She does big shit every Saturday morning." And I'm telling you guys, I'm bringing Renee on next Saturday. We're actually going to be in the studio this weekend. I'm going to interview her about her story. And the day that she found her favorite product, which we're not going to sell a product or I don't care. If you want to go join a different company, you don't want to be in my company, you think I'm threatened? I don't have to worry that Renee is going to take my people to a different company. Because guess what? People who want to be with me are going to be with me. People who want to be with Renee are going to be with Renee. Some are going to be with several. You know what, you guys? I'm never going to micromanage any of you. I don't care what you do because I'm going to build an army of people that feel good every day, change the freaking world, have amazing energy, create $1 million, multi-million dollar empires. I'm talking blow your mind empires. And I'm doing it starting like yesterday. Listening to these people, I've never really gone to Eric Worre in my previous partnership. And some companies are this way. We didn't promote outside speakers at all. There are a lot of people. Thank you, Christina. Yeah. Wow, Barb. I do need a call to action. Well, guys, I was never thinking about the commission. I was thinking about the mission. So there you have it. But in this book, I wrote down 6 different speakers that we had and my aha moments. And that's what I want to close with. And then I'm going to get off here and get on the road. I have 7 hours of driving today and a stop at one of our companies. And I'll tell you guys, I love my hours in the car because it's university on wheels and it's tons of phone calls with all the people that I love. And so many people I've been trying to catch up with. And that's when I get my best work done. I do have an office on wheels. So day one, we get there. First thing that was my takeaway, you guys, we have kind of become a pajama culture ever since COVID, right? First day we get there, probably a $10,000 suit this guy walks out in. He's in his living room. This was my takeaway on day one. Some of you are probably wondering why I'm dressed this way in my house, he said, because I'm done effing around. And I was like, me too. And it's easy that we all wake up in our pajamas, stay in our pajamas all day, even if you put on a little nicer shirt or a little brand new underwear, right? Anything, like how you feel is how you work. So you got to be in something that you feel good all day long. Now today I'm going to be in a tiny little Camaro. Dave took my car. He's working Tulsa today, working Cali's store so they can meet the manufacturer. But I'm going to be in a tiny little Camaro with 2 humongous suitcases, and I left one in Arizona. That was my grandma camp suitcase. I can't pack lightly, and I'm going to be crammed in this little car. So even though I was like, what are my most comfortable jeans? I was like, if I met somebody today and they just drove by and they were just waving, like they would be like, dang, I wonder who that girl is. Like at least from the waist up, right? Feel good now. That's what Dave and I say every single day. Feel good now. And I want to ask you, when you think about all of your life story, what has ever worked for you before where you were just, everything was just clicking? And for Dave and I, we had a robust system. Literally, like we had this secret where we thought we cracked the code that it duplicated like nuts. And everybody was getting in and everybody was having success and everybody was coming to events and everyone was happy and everyone was making money. And we had it going on. And then one day, I would never say we made a mistake. I would say we made a decision that changed the trajectory of our future for a decade. And we learned so much. And for that, I'm so grateful. And I hold no grudges and I have no enemies. And I'm just grateful for every lesson in every single chapter because it taught me what I wanted and it taught me what I didn't want. But the thing that I took away from Eric Worre, he said, our industry is like a small town. And if I ask Lisa Grossman, show me the asshole, Lisa would be like, right over there. Like you all have them in your businesses, in your office, on your football team, your basketball team, your pickleball team. Like show me the one that's so full of love. Like they love everyone. They're amazing. Show me the jerk, show me the crook. Like who are you in your small town, your industry? Who are you and who do you want to be? But what I really loved about what he said, early on in my early years, I made a lot of mistakes that I'm not proud of. And I could relate to that. I remember when Dave and I were $1 million earners with Nutrition for Life, and all of a sudden they were like, the checks are bouncing. The whole thing's going bankrupt. Everyone's quitting. And you guys, it was like vultures. Here's the takeaway. Never plant a seed of doubt in one of your competitors that's happy where they are. It was like so powerful. You think I need to go plant a seed of doubt in this person over here's mind so I can take them to where I'm going? I'm not even going to talk to those people, right? I'm going to encourage them. You're doing a great job. Love you. Mean it. Keep kicking ass. I don't need anyone. It's like oxygen, you guys. There's enough oxygen in this room for me and you and everybody on this broadcast. I don't have to be like, oh my God, I'm going to run out of oxygen. Same way with people. Like when you shine, you're a magnet. And when you're the one that they all point to, everybody runs. So just stop being an asshole. Like I was like, wow. And he said the first company that ever happened to him with, he didn't know the difference. And so they would be like, hey, I think they changed their product. Hey, how about that comp plan change? That's horrible. And they would plant all these little seeds of doubt so that they could talk crap on the company to take them all and go somewhere else. And I experienced that in my first company. It was devastating. Dave and I had just moved into our dream home. We had just bought the house in the country. We were in our 20s. We were making 45, 50,000 a month. I loved these people with all of my heart. My upline left. Kevin Trudeau vanished, disappeared, got terminated, and I had to start over like someone punched me in the gut. But I stayed close to the fire. I stayed close to the people that I loved. Dave and I found our way. And today I have a call with Keith Strider. He was my upline at the time. Even though things fell apart, we stayed friends. We still are friends. We're publishing a book together. He's helping my coaching team publish books. Like we do amazing things together, even though there was a fallout, because I learned, I grew. Now, did I make mistakes? Yes. Did I have to start over again? Yes. Was it worse the second time? Oh my God, worst lawsuit of my life. Worst lawsuit of my life. The attorneys made more than I made in 2 years, right? Nobody wins a lawsuit except for the attorneys. But what Eric Worre said, he said, you know, one of my previous partners who I don't see eye to eye with, we've had our differences, won the biggest lawsuit in the history of our industry this year. And it's an amazing thing for all of us. It's an amazing thing for all of us. Even though maybe him and I aren't in the same boat, what he did, I'm so grateful for him and I'm so happy for him. And it made a difference for all of us in the industry. And I just saw this person that was so mature in their thinking that, you know, you can be in a different company, you can be in a different brand, and you can still be cheering from the side. And I could not agree with that more, you guys. I have seen the good, bad, and the ugly. What Dave took away from Eric Worre was just the system. Dave loves systems. You got to have systems. If you don't have a system, you don't have anything. Everyone has to believe that they can do it. Everyone has to see that it works. And you got to bake that to where people are like, oh my gosh, it's like McDonald's. Cheeseburger bun, 1 pickle, splash of ketchup, keep going. No matter what McDonald's it is, they run like crazy and it works. So we learned a ton about systems. Sitting there that night, all of a sudden, Jack Canfield comes in, right? Chicken Soup for the Soul. How many of you read Chicken Soup for the Soul? Oh my gosh. I must have been like this. Like, I couldn't even believe it. And he just sat there and he visited, and I took so many notes. I can't even tell you guys. I was writing as fast as I could. I was recording on my voice recorder. And that night when he sat there, he just said, you know, you really got to think about your life and what it is that you want in your life, because the money will come and go, but you've got to design a life to where you know that this is what the end result is going to look like. And he talked about how the pandemic changed for good. He was booked to speak at a huge convention, and there was going to be about 400 top executives there. And I love this because I do believe in virtual. I know it's better in person, but I've always believed in virtual. And, you know, in the past, in my previous partnership, virtual was not a thing. And some people are embracing it. Some people are not embracing it. I'm going to do both. I am going to be crazy getting ready to host the biggest event I've ever hosted at a New Year's party to kick off 2024. But I'm also always going to have virtual. This is what he said. He said, we were in a room and they said, you cannot have this event. And he said, it went from 400 of their top executives to let's do a Zoom for everyone. And there was 4,000 on the Zoom, and it exploded. His training, his coaching, his book sales, their business, it just amplified it so much bigger. And I think sometimes we always say post-pandemic, oh, it's all so bad. Let's find the good in what has happened. Let's find the good. Any of you watch Secret Millionaire? I don't know how many of you watched The Secret Millionaire, but if you did, that was an aha moment for me as well. There was a tip jar created. If you had any complaints, you had to go put $1,000 in the tip jar. And at one point in the meeting, Eric actually said, "Did it just get cold in here or what?" And everyone in the audience said $1,000, because complainers, you can't really grow when you have complainers. And it's one thing to communicate, but you got to be sure that you're not complaining. So the night that we had Jack Canfield, along with him was his friend who did the show Secret Millionaire. And I cannot wait to do this training. It's a speaker training. He trains some of the top speakers, all the top speakers, right, in the world. But he said, what's in the way is the way. Takeaway number 2, James Malinchak. What's in the way is the way. What's in the way right now? To me, you guys, what's in the way is mental health. Nobody will talk about it. Nobody wants to say, I need help. I'm not okay. I'm not good. Somebody tell me what's wrong. Nobody wants to talk about addiction, depression, anxiety, mental health, because they're ashamed, right? But you can look at what's in the way and let it be the way. What's in the way for you? Maybe it's the economy. Everybody's got a down economy right now. Show me the down economy. I'll show you a way to make it a positive. Dave and I made more money this year in 90 days in real estate than we had ever made in anything that we had done with the least amount of effort. And I was hooked. For a minute, I was like, let's do this 4 more times. Until I went to the bank and I was like, I mean, I could make a lot of money, but it didn't really feel that good. And I was missing my people. I was missing that connection. I was missing making an impact. I was missing being able to help other people do that. And then I was like, I could do a course. I'll help everybody get an Airbnb. And I could. And if you want one here where I'm at, 4 times. They have 4 times in value since we bought this house 2.5 years ago. It's insane. But it's all about timing. But then again, how hard do you want to work? Do you have a system? Do you have your money working for you? Or are you just buying things that are material things? Like Dave and I live so below our means. Every day he's like, you got to get a new car. I'm like, I'm not getting a new car. 7 hours today, he'll be calling me. Is your car good? I don't care about the car. I'd rather host an event, spend it on coaching like I did this week, or help somebody. Like, I don't need a shiny car and a Maserati and a Ferrari. Maybe someday, but not today, because I'm investing in my business. And that's what I really took away from James is help me forgive the unforgivable, be strong, and create arrhythmia. That was kind of the thing with everybody, create arrhythmia. Tai Lopez comes on and I am like, oh my God, it's Tai Lopez, right? My kids love Tai Lopez. I remember them watching his YouTube videos when he's going through all these mansions. And he gave us 13 things that you need to do to build a multi-million-dollar empire. But what he really did is taught us how you hook people and how you create incredible monetization with your Instagram, with your Reels, with your YouTube, which was completely like someone speaking Spanish or Japanese to me. But he gave us a lot of great books to read. And at the end of the day, I was like, thank God I have Darian. I'm forwarding this video because he said, if you're making $900,000 a year and you're not spending $60,000 of it on your media manager, that's just completely irresponsible. You're just irresponsible. So what I took away from Tai Lopez is that I'm irresponsible. I need to spend more on media management. And he said something that we always say, KISS, keep it stupid simple. So reaction videos was his tip. And I got some good ones coming out this week. So you guys are going to be just laughing your asses off. But I'm figuring it out, right? I'm doing it messy. I'm doing it before I'm ready. I'm doing it when I'm not getting it all right, but I'm doing it. I'm not going to be standing on the sidelines watching. So there was Tai Lopez. There was James Malinchak. There was Chicken Soup for the Soul. And that was Jack Canfield was just amazing. And then Dave's favorite, like the oh my God moment, Rob from Ridiculousness. And if you guys have not followed his podcast, how many of you guys watch Ridiculousness? Anybody watch Ridiculousness? I don't watch TV. It's on in the background. Dave loves comedy. So the only time we watch TV is at the end of the day when we're winding down. Maybe there's a football game or something. We either go sit on our back porch or we sit in our living room, and Dave always has Comedy Central or MTV Comedy, something funny. He loves to laugh. And that, or it used to be TikTok. He would just be dying laughing. Like his TikTok algorithms and mine, it's not even the same thing. Like I'm getting like Stephen Furtick and Joel Osteen and Dave's over there just gas passing laughter, like not for real, but for real, just laughing as hard as he can. I'm like, what is so funny? Look at this guy. Look what he did to his wife. You know, he just loves comedy. And probably one of his favorites, well, his favorite for sure, Rob from Ridiculousness and Chanel West Coast. So at the end of Rob's talk, he goes, does anybody have any questions? Now, when I even raise my hand, you guys got to understand Dave and I opposites attract. So even if he thinks I'm going to ask for the mic, he's going to go to the bathroom. Because Dave, I'm extroverted, he's introverted, but I'm telling you, he does more business than me because he's a good listener. He's a good student. People love him because he's just great with people, right? Where they're like, is she going to take a breath so he can talk? So I'm going to lift up my hand and ask a question. I know Dave's about to like crawl under the table. So he gets up to go get a cup of coffee, and probably thankful he did, because I raise my hand and I go, I got a question. What's it like to work with Chanel West Coast? Because Dave he loves her. And he goes, oh, she left the show. And I was just like, oh my God, Barbism number 1565 for the week, right? But other people asked him questions that were about like his systems and things. And what you don't know about him is that he keeps track of every minute of every day. And he changed our life, completely changed our life during that 1 hour coaching session. And for Dave and I, we have a lot of work to do. He's went 100% of the days all year, 0 alcohol. 100% of the days all year, not missing a day, 5 a.m., wake up, mind cleaning, he calls it, meditation, eating clean, 100% of the days straight, you guys. We're almost through the year. And we're like this, what? He does 335, I think it is, shows a year. And he only does 2 hours on Tuesdays and Thursdays. The rest of the time, he has created a life with his family doing what he loves because he has systems. He has systems and he delegates and he takes his life back instead of letting his business run his life. Now, Dave and I run our businesses 24/7. A lot of times we're not even in the same place, right? We're taking our life back. We're going to be more like Rob, right? You got to manage your time. I always manage my time, but I'm not sure that I'm a good manager of people. I don't get in management mode. I don't micromanage my people. Even on my team, I let them take the ball and run. I'm pouring the flames on them. I'm fanning the flames on them. Like, go, 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 go. Do whatever you do. I'm never going to call someone on my team and be like, why did you do that? And you know what's sad? In my business, in our retail businesses, that's not my strength either. I am not a good manager. I am a good creator. And it's okay. Here's what I learned. If you're not good at micromanaging people, let someone else micromanage the people and you go create the thing. You go move the crowd. You go paint the canvas. Let somebody else ship them and wrap them and charge the money for them and do your taxes, right? Like, we all have to step into what is it that we love? How can we take our day, say, what do I do with my whole day? What part of my day do I love? What part of my day do I hate? How do I do what I love all day long by the next 4 years, right? So if Dave and I said, what do we love? We love being with our kids and grandkids. We love concerts. Like, take me to a country concert, I become a different animal. I'm a different person when I'm at a concert. I love music. I love to dance. I'm a terrible singer, but I love being in the pit, front row, screaming, dancing, singing every word to every song. And Dave is like, he does it because I love it, but it's high energy. Like, I love it. Keith Urban, Kenny Chesney, you name it. I mean, I would go to Taylor Swift, but I wouldn't say I'm a Swiftie, right? But I've learned a lot from her. I've definitely learned a lot from her. And if there's one thing I've learned from her this week, you guys, I'm going to do a whole TikTok on this. Pique their curiosity. Don't cure their curiosity, because that sells. Like, look at those two. That sells. Nobody even knows, and they're not telling the story, and it just sells because they're piquing your curiosity, and everybody's like, what the heck is going on? I don't know, but everything's blowing up, right? So what I'm going to say to you guys from Rob, the one thing I got, this is big, write this down. Design your life, build your life, not your business. And I've already been doing this. I got rid of 2 properties that were rental properties, because here's a problem with me and rental properties. If it's a rental, I don't like to collect. I would let you live there free if you didn't have any money. And I did, right? Airbnb, I got someone else that's managing it. They're collecting the money. I'm too much of a giver. I'm too much of a server. I like to contribute. You don't want to give me your rental property with a single mom and then say, go collect the rent from her. It ain't happening. Not a good business decision on my part, right? So Dave and I got rid of several properties. Actually got a contract on our med spa this week, and we're selling that salon to a new owner, and we're getting definiteness of purpose. I do believe in multiple streams of income, 100%. And I have about 12 right now. But I want to have laser focus to design a life that I love. And let me tell you what I've learned over the last 9 months. I love contribution. I love building people. I love being around other powerful women. Problem with me, I have been in rooms where I get around other powerful women and I got to water myself down. You know, I threatened the owner of the company because I grew so much 10 years ago that, like, I came in as a, what was I? I was a new brand partner, I guess. And then the bigger I got, the worse it got. Like, oh my gosh, maybe I shouldn't do too good of a speech because she's next. Maybe I shouldn't have too much volume because, you know, I don't want to pass her OG original guy. And it's crazy because it ended up in this horrible separation where I was like, wow, maybe I shouldn't be so good. How many of you are in a relationship, an office, a family, a church? You're in some circle where you're just too much. Like, you're just too much. Everybody's always trying to rein you in or water you down or try to put a lid on you. The question is, who's putting a lid on you? Is that okay? Like, is that okay? Are you that weak that you're going to allow that to happen again and again and again? Because you've got to get up, dust yourself off, and say, I'm about to do something so big, it's going to blow your mind. And I'm going to be unapologetically authentic when I do it. That's what you need to do. What are you good at? Are you good at welding, painting, singing, dancing? Are you good at hair? Are you in a salon? I've been in the salon business all my life and own a salon as we speak. We've got great energy in there. There's no drama, right? Everyone builds each other up. There's no backbiting. There's no gossip. Like, we don't have that kind of a culture. And I'll tell you another good takeaway. If you're in a culture where there is this bad behavior and you're allowing it, you're the problem. You've got to shut the gossip down. You've got to shut the backbiting down. You've got to shut the drama down. You've got to stop the very behavior that is the cancer in the group that eats the entire company and kills it. Because that's what happened to my first company. We had a great company. Everything was going great guns. We had a great system. It was duplicating. We were in our early 20s. Everything was cracking along. And then this leader started selling this. And then that leader started selling that system. And then this leader over here was selling these little CDs. And this one created a cookbook. And this one had coaching. And this one sold leads. And pretty soon, there was this cancer throughout the whole company. And there was no system. There was not one thing that we were all doing together, everybody rowing in the same direction. It was everybody rowing in a different way. And if you're in something that doesn't have a system that everybody knows and everybody does, in a culture where everybody's building each other up, you just have to be the catalyst that says, I'm going to change the way that this feels. And you can't change everybody, but you can be the light. You can be the Rob from Ridiculousness. You can be the Jack Canfield. You can be the Ty Lopez. You can be the Eric Worre. You can be, there was one other one, Sean Cannell. Some of you know him, some of you don't. That's my last one. He's big on YouTube, and he started it by doing product reviews. He would just review a product and tell you, you should buy this camera or you shouldn't buy this camera. And he just learned and grew and learned and grew. And now he has aligned himself with other people to where, like, it's crazy what he has done on the platform YouTube. And he believes that YouTube is really the best because it doesn't give you that dopamine hit like, oh my gosh, someone liked my TikTok, someone commented. But long term, what are we building here? Like, what are we building out? So every Saturday morning, I've been doing all the things. Right now, I'm on YouTube, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on my team page, I'm on my coaching page, I'm on my personal page, I'm live on Instagram. But do you know what, guys? I was always doing all the things and I never had the hook. I was always doing all the things, but I didn't have a refined system. I was always doing all the things, but I didn't have a coach making more than me. Lisa Grossman takes my phone calls. Thank God. I work closely with Terry LaCour, super busy guy. I'm not just going to call him up with everything, that I'm thinking about, but like, who do you have that's made 10 times more than you that's in your phone? Now, those 6 conversations and those takeaways, Sean, the takeaway with Sean was get your butt on YouTube and get your butt on YouTube. Because if you're not, that's long-term where it's going to be. So hopefully you guys have taken a lot of notes, but my crazy moment of the weekend. There's this one girl. I always wanted to be coached by Jessie Lee because she was the number one girl. She was the number one earner. She would tell you that, it was just her branding. Like, if you want to be great, go find number one, figure out what they did and try to reverse engineer that, get coached from them, whatever. But the first 2 days, there was about half the room there. And the last 2 days was on leadership after systems. Then the room was like full. And a lot of ginormous leaders came in. Denny Robinson, I love. She's my vibe. She's kind of, if I was going to brand myself, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a grandma. I don't have any leg tattoos. You're never going to catch me in my thong on the beach. There's a lot of giants out there, but I would say my branding, I'm a conservative woman of faith that loves my husband, my kids, my grandkids, and I want to help other people build a legacy and an empire. I'm not 25. I'm not 30. I'm not all the things, and I don't ever want to not be me. I don't want to go try to be someone else just to get the likes, the follows, and the millions of dollars. But here's my belief. I can be me, and I can be better than anyone else out there. If I work harder, I'm more consistent, and I have enough purpose and passion. I've passed my upline before. I've passed my mentor before. Now, the people I'm looking at right now, if I want to pass them, I better get a dang battery powered bike and some new running shoes because they don't take breaks. Like these people are crazy obsessed with what they do. But I was able to sit down and pick the brain of Denny Robinson. I was able to get a hug and talk about our grandkids and her health and my health and the recent weight loss and all that. But in the room walks this woman who I was with at the Cardone 10X ladies, but there was a rope between us, right? Like she brought down the house at 10X Cardone. Like she's one of the greatest speakers. She's branded herself better than most people I've ever met and seen. But we are polar opposites. Like we couldn't be more different in our branding. But I admire her success. And I told Dave, I go, that's her. And Dave's like, okay. I go, no, like that's her. And everybody in the room knew when she walked in. And by lunch, I manifested her and I, and later Dave, for 40 minutes. 40 minutes with this incredible woman who sat with me and said, do you have this? Do you have that? She was troubleshooting me, my plans, my system, my game plan. It was crazy. Put her cell phone number in my phone, said, I would be glad to coach you, and critiqued me. It was amazing, you guys. It was amazing. And I left there just like, I am complete. You know, $30,000, $40,000 spent. I would say I would make that from one conversation, one idea, one takeaway. Guarantee you, Dave and I are probably going to live 10 years longer just because of the time management. You know, I could harp on Dave for the rest of my life about our calendar, the time we spend together, carving out time, whatever. As long as Dave has his grandkids, his kids, and we can go fishing together, maybe sit and chill and watch some TV, Dave would be fine. Dave doesn't need me with my calendar scoping out every minute of every day, until Rob from Ridiculousness said it. You would have thought Jesus parted the waters and came through the door. And Dave was like, I'm blown away. I am blown away. And you know what you got to realize is all of us need a mentor and all of us need a coach. Dave was so inspired by what he said. We want to go from 12 million to 500 million. How did he do that in 4 years? Like, what did he do, you guys? He talked about his mistakes. He talked about his mistakes. He said, I was so dumb. I had 12 million cash sitting and I went and bought a 10 million piece of dirt in LA. Just bought a lot because I was in love and I was getting married. And haven't we all made those mistakes where we're like, why did I just buy this house? Why did I just buy this car? But how do we learn? This is what I got from every person there. We learn from making mistakes. And even sitting next to the legend herself, Stormy Wellington, she said, you know, I took a break. I haven't done shit for the last 3 years. And I was like, you know what? We haven't either. We haven't either. I feel like this whole industry, this whole world is trying to find their way. And in my opinion, you guys, there's too much noise. My husband's on here saying, simmer down. Hey, Dave. There's too much noise. There's too much noise. There's too much distraction. I can't go do everything I learned in this book. I'm going to pick 2 things. I'm going to pick 2 things that I'm going to get better at this week. And the next time I'm in that room, I don't care what company my friends are in. I'm going to be like Lisa husband to me. I'm going to be like Denny husband. I'm going to be like, come on, Shailene, let's go. Come on, Amy, you know, let's go. Come on, Tanya. Come on. I mean, I don't care what company all of my friends are in. I want to be a difference maker. I want to be more like those incredible women that have been such a friend to me, If I hadn't had Lisa in December and January, I don't know who I would have called. But do you know what? Every single one of them would empower me without an agenda, not trying to recruit me, not trying to sell me, not trying to steal me, not trying to, how can I get something out of this? Just being a good human. And I am inspired by that, you guys. I want to be a good human. I want to be someone that builds up, doesn't tear down. And I am working harder than I've ever worked on myself so that I can be of value to all of you. So I want to tell you guys something. I don't have anything in my little drop down that will just automatically send to you and give you some value, but I'm working on it today. And if you would like to have the 8 steps that Dave and I used in every company, every business we've ever built that we learned from our mentor in 1996, I spent about 2 hours recording it back in March, and I was going to put it in a funnel for, I was going to sell it, and I didn't because I've been busy, but I do have it recorded, and I do have an entire booklet that's been edited. And if you drop in the comments 8 steps, as soon as I have the booklet and the video in the PDF format and my MailChimp newsletter set up, I will send all of you a free copy. Just drop in the comments 8 steps. Tell me what's the one favorite quote that you got from the 6 famous, amazing celebrities that I was able to be around this week. And if you want to join me at the next event, just send me a private message. Tell me you want to join me. Any of you that think a lake retreat for ladies would be fun, we are definitely working on it and planning it. So if you want to do a ladies' day at the lake, comment ladies at the lake, and I'll get my new virtual assistant to go through all of these comments and help me reach out to you so we can connect. So it's going to be amazing. Hope you guys have an amazing Saturday. I'm getting ready to be on the road. Many of you I'll be on the phone with, and putting more good jelly in the donut. Because I'll tell you guys something. If you're not growing, you're dying. There's no in between. None of us are going to coast up a hill. And you co-create the life of your dreams. You got to get in that abundance vortex. You got to get yourself around the right energy. You got to get back to your vision board. You got to find a mentor. Take all the money you can spare. Go to an event. Get to a seminar. Go get your cup filled up like I did, because none of us can pour from an empty cup. So you guys have an amazing day. Go be great. Don't put a lid on it. Don't water it down. Don't worry about even your siblings, your family, your church friends, your people in your office. You go be great and quit playing small. I'll talk to you guys soon. Hope you enjoyed the broadcast. If you did and you got some value, please hit the share button. That's my call to action. Have a great day, everyone.